Hey, it's me again. I want to tell you guys this story that actually, if this video is on Facebook, it will be, among other places. But for the folks on Facebook, some of you may know this story. You might have been there, one or two of you. But something very embarrassing happened to me while I was playing piano, and I still laugh about it today. But before that, I want to talk about how I got there. So, as I was learning my piano, with the method that I was getting from my different teacher and different method. It was a lot of listening. It was a lot of being in tune with your hands and the sounds you were making on the keyboard. You're very in tune to sound. I remember my teacher saying, I teach sound. Okay, and she would do things that were really unique that would make a difference between one player to the next. Because she would say things like, most player would bang a note like this, but I want you to touch it, press the sound in, make the sound ring out. Just little, tiny little nuances that just made the piano sound differently. And I just kept practicing. I did what she told me to do, and I loved it. I had a ton of fun learning and just growing with the piano. The the art of playing piano has virtually been the same for hundreds of years. You play it with the same fundamentals and the same way, really. But there are different methods, and some people had different postures and stuff like that. That's cool. But the way we build chords, the way we do scales, the way we interpret certain songs, there's kind of a consensus and an agreement on certain pieces, how they should be interpreted. And so I did all that instruction, and I just kind of flourished with it, and I had so much fun playing piano. I just love the sound. I love being able, when I figured out how to do it, it was just, it just opened up the world, like I said in the previous video, that I knew I could play almost anything because I had the foundation and the fundamentals, and I was getting better and better at them. Right? I knew that I hear a song that I liked, I knew I could go and figure out how to play it. So by the time I was 16, I was pretty good. For a 16-year-old. I'm not talking like a prodigy good. I'm just talking I could play better than most 16-year-olds who were taking piano. And I was in high school this time. I homeschooled through grade school, and I went to high school. And so I was 16 years old. All right. I recently got my license. I could drive. And there was a pretty popular guy in our school. And this was in the Oconomowoc area. It was a private school in Oconomowoc. And he had a house that was in Oconomowoc that was a very popular place. It was a huge Victorian house, okay? And there was one time he threw a party, okay? Now, it's not one of those kind of parties. Actually, a very innocent party, but it was a blast, and there was a ton of people there. It was a pizza party, a lot of soda, a lot of sugar, a lot of pizza. There had to be like a couple hundred people there. This guy had a giant Victorian. There was people from schools in different towns, surrounding towns in that area, and there was a lot of people there. And remind you, I was 16 years old, okay? So me and my best buddy went to this party. And I knew some people there, a lot of people I didn't know. Um, and there was a piano in the living room. Now, the house was set up, big Victorian. You had a big living room with a piano. You had this TV room. There were people in there. There was a hallway between the living room and the kitchen, people in there. There was a back room, people in there, people in bedrooms, all like groups talking, people in the kitchen, talking, eating pizza. Very noisy place, a lot going on. And my friends saw there was an upright piano in the living room, and they're like, Surface, come on, play a song, go do something. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm an introvert. I mean, no, I'm not going to go play. And they're like, well, next thing you know, there's like seven people. He plays, he knows how to play. There's a bunch of people asking me to play, and I'm like, okay, I'll play. And so, like any good musician, you're going to play your easiest piece that sounds the hardest. It's the most flashy. So I got on the piano and I played this song piece that it was very showy. It was very cool. I was good at it, and it was like hand over hand stuff. And I was playing it. I was playing it really well. And next thing I know, I just could see in my side vision that there was people gathering. Okay. I'm 16, remember? And so there was a lot of females gathering around me. And I was like, I don't know how to talk to girls. I mean, I still don't know how to talk to girls. Talk to my wife about that. I didn't know how to be. And so all I knew was I was playing piano. I was playing it well. I'm going back and forth. And it's a very melodic piece. Um, Anyways, I could sense people. I could feel breath on my neck. I mean, people were trying to crowd in because they wanted to see my hands. So I remember there was like someone touching so close, they were up against my shoulders behind me. And I could see, I did one of these, and I saw the whole room was full. I'm like, oh man. And it was mostly females. And so I was really freaking out, sweating, but I played really well. I kept it going. But it must have been my concentration or something. As I was playing, I think my mouth just hung open a little bit as I was concentrating. And probably the nerves and the excitement, I drooled. I started to drool. And I remember I was playing, and I'm like, and I heard giggles. People who could see me or was close, there was giggles. People laughing like, "Oh my gosh, that was embarrassing." But I could not fail at the song, and I kept going. And I finished the song, and there was a huge round of applause. And my good friend, my friend at the time, her name was Sarah. I think her name was Sarah. It's been so long. From that point on, she saw it. She called me drooler. I think for the next year as a joke, and I didn't mind it actually. I thought it was kind of funny because it was a very memorable thing. And from that point on, I suddenly became Mr. Popular. I was like the popular guy at that party, and people kept coming up and talking to me. So the point and the moral of the story is even if you make a fool out of yourself and you drool over yourself at a party when you're 16 in front of a whole bunch of females, if you play good at piano, it doesn't matter.